Rec family, Darren George back at you. As you can see now, I now have the Bullseye back on the big cart, which is my personal cart. But as you can see, we now have the shelf I've been working on for a couple months trying to fabricate. As you can see, it has a rubber mat on the top to help with anything you set up here, doesn't slip and slide off of the metal. It's attached with 2 bolts that you're going to have to drill into the Bullseye itself. It has a very heavy duty steel support that goes down and attaches to my cart. This shelf gives you extra storage to hang your utensils on, which works out absolutely perfect. They are big, so you can't use, like if you use anything that has the small hole in the end, you're going to have to put a ringlet on it. As far as the holes that I've cut in them, they are absolutely working flawless. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, which is the same thing that RecTech did when they designed the handles. These allow the steel to cool down so that the heat doesn't get to transfer out to the end of the shelf. So that's it. As you can see, I think this thing looks pretty tough. I love it. So I hope you guys like the shelf. I hope you like the cart. You guys have all made comments about how much we absolutely love the Bullseye grill. This thing is incredible. We all know that. That's why we all own them. But the only issue anybody has ever had is we all wanted a shelf for the side. So I went to the drawing board several months ago and started trying to come up with a design that I thought would work. And I really didn't want to leave out our family members that have the factory cart. So I finally narrowed it down and come up with this design, which is very simplistic, but it is very effective and it works incredibly well. All the kits are going to come with this T-bar, which has a solid steel shank on the end. This is all made out of 1/8 inch thick steel tubing with solid steel rod. They're all going to come with this. They're all going to come with the L bracket. They're all going to come with this rubber mat. And they're all going to come with the bolts. The only thing that's going to be different is if you order it for the custom carts, it's going to come with this T-bracket that slides onto the bottom. And if you order it for RecTech's cart, it's going to come with this style bar on the bottom. And I'll explain later in the video how these work. So it's going to come like that. This will be your finished shelf. This has the holes cut in it to dissipate the heat. This will actually sit about 1 inch away from your cooker when you bolt the L brackets onto the pre-drilled holes. You'll notice it already has 2 holes drilled in it. These 2 holes will be for the flat top Phillips stainless steel screws to go through, and that is where this bar will attach, is to those pre-drilled holes. This shelf, the bracket, the T-bracket, this bracket, the rubber mat, and the L brackets are the same on all the kits, regardless of which cart you have your Bullseye on. Just say you order this and you order it for the factory cart, and just say 6 months, a year down the road, you decide you want to upgrade and buy one of my carts. Contact me and let me know that you already own my shelf, and I will be able to sell you this crossbar, which will replace this, and you could still use your factory shelf that you bought from me. So you're not going to have to buy another shelf just because you upgraded to my cart. All you're going to need is that T-bar. Okay, my friends, to start your install your shelf, what I suggest first off is get yourself some tape and clean off the right side of your grill as shown here in the video. From the hinge on the back where your lid is bolted, put your tape up against that bracket and measure around 14.5 inches and put a mark on the 14.5 inches and put a straight line. This is going to be your center point for your shelf. Pre-install your L brackets. So just put them in finger tight in the center of the shelf, which should be 9.5 inches. You're going to line that mark up with the 14.5, which is the center of the grill, and push these L brackets up tight underneath of the lip. Don't go on top of it. Put this bracket up tight against the bottom while you line up this center hole, this center line. So you're going to do it like that. You're going to line that center mark on the shelf, which should be 9.5. You're going to line that up with the 14.5 inch center line that you've put on your grill. And then you're going to have these brackets up nice and tight against the grill, and you're going to pre-mark the holes underneath. You're going to have marks where these two holes are to be drilled. Once you drill those holes, hold the shelf up there, bolt your 2 bolts, which will be supplied in the kit, through there. Then your shelf is going to be out, but it's going to have no support on the end. So our next step is going to be how to attach the bracket. I've already put the stainless steel flat screws down through the pre-drilled holes on the bottom of the shelf. You're going to take the big T bracket, which is the long one. This should be the same in both kits. And you're going to line it up on the bolts, just like that. And you're going to attach that. Just like that. And then you're going to have your T-bar is now going to be attached. So now your shelf is attached to your smoker. You have your T-bar support bracket installed. Now, if you have my cart, you're going to have this T-bar, which has the cinch nut on the end, has the crossbar on the bottom. You're going to slide this up onto the bracket, and you're simply going to rest it back against the A-frame on the side. But before you go any further, what you need to use is some form of a straight edge. In my case, I have just a straight ruler, but you want to lay it across the top of your smoker so that you can raise this shelf up to get it pretty close to being perfectly level. All right, because you can see from the weight of it, there's a huge gap here. So when you slide your bottom bar on, don't tighten up this. Push it back against the cart, and using your support that you put across the top, pull up on the shelf until you get that shelf almost perfectly level. Mark your 2 holes and bolt that on. And let me bolt that on, and then I'll be back in a minute to show you why we did the cinch bolt in the center. All right? So we'll be right back. Drilled my holes and bolted that on. One of the reasons I said to try to level up the shelf as close as possible, but don't overlift it. One of the benefits to putting this cinch nut in is, if you notice from looking at my straight edge, you'll notice my shelf goes downhill. So to compensate for that with the cinch nut, what you get to do is pull the shelf up till the shelf is perfectly level. Once you get the shelf perfectly level, you can tighten down the cinch nut like that. Now you have a perfectly level shelf. It's solid. It isn't going anywhere. Well, all right, my RecTech family, that should pretty much wrap it up. Hopefully the video with the walkthrough showed you everything you needed to do to install it. The only things I don't think that I covered is the only tools you're going to need is a 5/16 inch drill bit. You're also going to need a 7/16 inch wrench or an adjustable wrench, and you're also going to need just a standard Phillips screwdriver. That's really the basic tools you're going to need to install this. It's extremely simple and easy. The only thing I wish I could have been able to bring you with this is I really wish I could have been able to powder coat the products, but unfortunately that's just not in the budget. And I wanted to try to keep these as affordable as possible. The quality is there, the construction is there. If the paint chips or flakes or whatever, it's extremely easy to just sand it down and repaint it. Like I said before, with the wing nut on the bottom, when you slide this over the bottom, just simply draw this up until it hits. Don't torque it down. If you didn't have this on there, there's a chance that the shelf could bounce and this would pop free. But by putting that little cinch nut on there, which allowed you to just cinch it down and it would hold it, was the whole purpose of that. Hopefully you guys love this build. I can't wait to see it on your guys' smokers. As always, my friends, God bless you. Thank you so much for supporting me. And as always, smoke like the rest, but roll with the best, my friends. I'll see you.